Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. I think Aradhya Mataji is not there in the call. Anyone else would like to read? I will share my screen. If not, I can read. Okay, let me start.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I can read.
Okay, sure, Mataji. Please go ahead. From text 35 today till
Yes.
45. Okay.
Prabhuji, I have to read that sloks as well, right? Om Namo Bhagavate.
Yeah, you can do the prayer, or I can do the prayer if you want.
No, I can. Let me take that
Sure.
page.
Sure, Mataji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskarivam Naram Kaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyase Tattva Jaye Tato Jaye Diriyat Nashtaprayeshu Adreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamam Shloke Bhaktir Bhagavati Hare Krishna, all devotees. Today I am reading text 35, Canto 3. My dear mother, O daughter of Manu, a devotee who applies the science of devotional science and mystic yoga in this way can achieve the abode of Supreme Person simply by that devotional service. Text 36. This Purusha whom the individual soul must approach is the eternal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Brahman and Paramatma. He is the transcendental chief personality and his activities are all spiritual. Text 37. The time factor who causes the transformation of various material manifestations is another feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anyone who does not know that time is the same Supreme Personality is afraid of the time factor. Text 38. Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the enjoyer of all sacrifices, is the time factor and the master of all masters. He enters everyone's heart. He is the support of everyone and he causes every being to be annihilated by another. Text 39. No one is dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, nor is anyone his enemy or friend, but he gives inspiration to those who have not forgotten him and destroys those who had. Text 40. Out of fear of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the wind blows. Out of fear of him, the sun shines. Out of fear of him, the rain pours forth showers, and out of fear of him, the host of heavenly bodies shed their luster. Text 41. out of fear of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trees, creepers, herbs, and seasonal plants and flowers blossom and fructify, each in its own season. Text 42. Out of fear of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the rivers flow and the ocean never overflows. Out of fear of Him, only does fire burn, and does the earth with its mountains not sink in the water of the universe. Wow. Text 43. Subject to the control of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sky allows outer space to accommodate all the various planets which hold innumerable living entities. The total universal body expands with its 7 coverings under his supreme control. Text 44. Out of fear of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the directing demigods in charge of the modes of material nature carry out the functions of creation, maintenance, and destruction. Everything animate and inanimate within this material world is under their control. Text 45. The eternal time factor has no beginning and no end. It is the representative of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the maker of the criminal world. It brings about the end of the phenomenal world. It carries on the work of creation by bringing one individual into existence from another. And likewise, it dissolves the universe by destroying even the Lord of Death, Yamraja. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Matai. Hare Krishna.
You're welcome. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Sri Krishna Prabhu, whenever you're ready, you can start, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः वैराग्यविद्या निजभक्तियोगं शिक्षाष्टमेकं पुरुषपुराणं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यशरीरधारी कृपाम्बुधिर्तमहं प्रपद्ये हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we are seeing how Kapildev is very compassionate to Mother Devahuti, and he's explaining on further explanation on the devotional service. So in this beautiful chapter, yesterday we have seen how to actually perform the devotional service, the perfection of devotional service, and Lord Kapiladev is very systematically elaborating, from the gradation of different living entities, from the inanimate beings to the highest beings, where one who has completely, with full consciousness, is serving the Lord without any expectations, without any motivations, with pure love, basically. So we have seen how Lord Kapildev explains beautifully that the living entities, one who studies the Vedas, is actually higher and better than him. One who understands the essence of Vedas, and better than him is one who completely takes shelter of the person whom the Vedas is actually glorifying, and completely gives the service. So he describes in the verse number 33, Mayi arpita mana pumso. So it's like the same message Krishna also says, Mayi arpita mano buddhi. So that mind, Krishna is expecting that there is nothing else of interest other than that just to please the Lord. So this is basically pure devotional service that Narada Pancharatra is saying, Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam Tatparatvena Nirmalam Rishikesha Rishikena Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. So that the same message, that our only goal without any motivation is just to please the Lord. By pleasing the Lord, we also get completely satisfied. So that is the conclusion that Lord Kapiladev is giving. And again, he's emphasizing on the further verses that such a perfect devotee, he is actually firmly convinced that Lord is in everyone's heart. So he can actually see that Samadarshana without making any mistakes. So today we are seeing from verse number 35. So again, he is addressing Mother Devhuti, and he's addressing as Maya Manavi. Manavi is like a daughter of Manu. Maya Manavi Udiritaha. So what he's saying is again concluding that the devotional service that he has explained, Bhakti Yogascha, the Bhakti Yoga signs and the yoga signs, the mystic yoga signs. This one who applies these principles of Bhakti Yoga in this way can finally attain the Supreme Lord simply by Purushaha Purusham Vrajet. So simply he can attain the Purushaha is the Lord, Supreme Lord Himself, by Bhakti Yoga, by devotional service. So again, very elaborately, Kapiladev explains how to meditate on the limbs of the Supreme Lord, the form of the Supreme Lord, how to meditate from the lotus feet till the highest point of the lotus face, every limb, all of the meditation details. And now he is, again emphasizing the same message by applying this devotional service, one can achieve that Supreme Person. So when the meditation, when here the Purushaha, the enjoyer, Purushaha means also the Supreme Person, also the enjoyer. So he's none other than the one Supreme Lord who is taking care of the unlimited living entities. So in the Vedas also it says that the one Lord is actually taking care of unlimited living entities. So that one Lord is again the emphasis is brought because that is the focus and that is where the entire the essence lies. So in this chapter, the Lord talks about a lot of verses about how to actually see the living entities with the equal vision, which how the Lord is present in every living entity. So Prabhupada also balancing in every verse that when seeing the living entities, we should not misunderstand the Lord and the living entities to be one, because this is like walking on the razor's edge. So the perfection is like in the middle. In this side there is impersonalism, and this side there is complete atheism. So in the middle is the perfection. So that point is, to come to that point, it requires sadhana bhakti. So the sadhana bhakti is what? The purification of the heart. So that purification of the heart is the devotional service beginning from Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So all of these aspects of devotional service. And the culmination is basically the service to the Supreme Lord. So one who takes the Yoga Marga or Bhakti Marga, the culmination should be the service to the Supreme Lord. That culmination in this Kali Yuga is only possible through Bhakti Yoga. So that is the reason every verse, every purport, Prabhupada emphasizes Bhakti Yoga. And so going on further here, the verse number 36. So here Kapiladev is saying that the living entity should approach that the Supreme Lord, eternal form, Edat Bhagavato Rupam, that eternal form of the Lord. And there are, in Bhagavatam also it says, Bhagavan, there are three aspects of the Lord. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti Sabdyate. So the Lord is actually seen in three different transcendental forms. All of them are transcendental. So here also, Kapiladev is saying, one should approach the Lord, who is also known as Brahman and Paramatma. So he already mentioned that the form, the Bhagavan form, the Purusha. So all three aspects. And he's also saying that he is the chief living entity. He is the chief personality. So Eko Bahunam Vidatati Kamam. So the Veda says Eko Bahunam Vidatati Kaman. So Eko Bahunam, like the one who is taking care of unlimited Ananta Koti living entities. That one Lord is mentioned in the Kathopanishad as the Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. So the unlimited consciousness, the living entities, and they also have consciousness. That one living entity, he's also conscious, but the difference is the one living entity is fully conscious of the entire universe, but the individual living entities is only conscious on his particular body or surroundings, depending on how elevated he is. And but the Supreme Lord is fully conscious, so that is the difference. But both are conscious. That is the what Katha Upanishad also says. And Krishna again, Krishna tries to emphasis in Bhagavad Gita also. Aham sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam bhuta bhava samanvataha. So I am the source of everything, Arjuna, and everything emanates from me. So that again Krishna brings that point to make a point that I should be the goal. I should be the ultimate. Your mind should be offered to me. So that should be the ultimate essence. From all the perfection of bhakti yoga and all the siddhis. So, so Krishna also makes a point in Bhagavad Gita about to understand the Lord's activities. It's not so easy. So because it's transcendental, it's divyam, it's transcendental. So and one who understands what happens, one who understands yoveti tatvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. So one who understands the Lord's transcendental form, activities, and his appearance, janma karma chame divyam. So he does not actually have to take birth again. Punarjanma naiti. So that is the perfection that Prabhupada is elaborating here. He does not have to come back to this material world. So here also in this verse, Purusha Purusham Vrajet. So here also it's mentioned that just by understanding that Lord, he simply he becomes transcendental, and Lord's transcendental activities, the living entity actually gets the perfection. So and then again the Lord's time factor is mentioned here, like Kala Chakra, Kala Rupa, like in the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, Kalosmi, I am the time, Arjuna, I will destroy everything in the course of time. So Krishna is everything in one sense, and Krishna is also the time factor. And so here Krishna says that if Lord actually, Lord can expand the time, he can contract the time, he can actually, because he is the time factor. For devotees especially, you can see the Prabhupada or any Mahabhagavats, they always try to engage in the Lord service without any deviation. Because the moment when we actually come out of the service, the consciousness, from Krishna consciousness to the material world consciousness, the time factor actually starts ticking, meaning that our destruction starts clicking. But as long as we remain within the service of the Lord, the time factor does not even affect the living entities. So this is very technical, because every day the day and night is going on, the time is moving. But how is that the time is stopping for the devotees? So it is from that perspective that the devotees are engaged in the service of the Lord. They do not get destroyed, meaning their consciousness is going up and up and up. Their consciousness is not degrading. So from that perspective, their existence is not destroyed. Their existence is actually going higher and higher. So in the next life, their consciousness will be much more higher. It is possible that they'll be transported to the eternal spiritual kingdom where they will continuously serve the Lord, or they will get another opportunity to increase their consciousness from where they stopped. So that is the reason the living entities, the devotees, are not destroyed by the time factor. So here, Lord's time factor is being described in the next few verses. And it is mentioned here that Rupa Beda Ashpadam Divyam Kalaha iti adibdiyate. So what happens? This time factor, there is a peculiar quality for this time factor. What is that quality? This time factor is what causes the transformation of various material manifestations. For example, a child is born, and then after 10 years, the child looks different. He's, in the youth form, or he's in a little bit grown up, and then he's again yavana, jara, like old age. The transformation keeps happening. So if in due course of time, everything is changing. And this change that is happening due to time factor causes fear, causes the Binna Drisham Bhayam. So it causes that fear in the hearts, and that fear uh, is mentioned as the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. He's the time factor, and he's causing that fear. And how to come out of that fear is also Prabhupada, mentions in the purport that we should take. If we do not want to be in the influence of time, then we should take shelter of the Lord in complete devotional service. So, and devotee perfectly knows that time factor is another representation of the Lord. And because of that, the devotee has nothing to fear from the influence of time. So this is another lesson that we can learn, that every moment, that the time that we spend in the Krishna consciousness is basically we come out of the influence of this destruction, the whole destruction that is happening by the time factor. So, and then the verse number 38. So here it says that Kapila Dev is giving further more details on the vibhutis of the Lord. He said Lord is actually time factor, and he's also saying that Lord is the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Akila Ashraya, so he is the support of everyone. Akila means everyone. Ashraya is the support or shelter. He's everyone's shelter, and he is also Adi Yajna. Akyaha. Adi Yajna means like he is the enjoyer of all sacrifices. So Kalayatam Prabhuhu. So Kalaha Kalayatam Prabhuhu is the time factor, and he is the master of everyone. So now Bhagavad Gita also says, Bhaktaram Yajna Sapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhurdam Sarvabhutanam Jnanatvam Mam Santim Richati. So Lord is the Bhokta, means he is the enjoyer. And his enjoyment is unlimited. So compared to what we can enjoy, is actually our enjoyment is actually suffering. And the other side, what we consider as enjoyment is just a flickering enjoyment, which doesn't even last long. But Lord's enjoyment is unlimited, and he has that capacity to enjoy unlimited. So that is the reason here Prabhupada also says that when we cooperate with the Lord, when we engage in devotional service with the Lord, we can also become happy, we can also enjoy, because our enjoying tendency is rightly directed when we cooperate with the Lord. So that is our way of engaging in the service of the Lord, is basically the perfection that we are hankering after, the happiness that we are hankering after. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada quotes that Ekala Ishvara Krishna Arasabha Bhrutya means, so this verse also says that Ekale Ishvara Krishna. There is only one Supreme Lord, that is Krishna or Vishnu. And everyone else, Arasabha Bhrutya means everyone else is servants of the Supreme Lord, including the great demigods, the powerful lords like Lord Brahma, Shiva. All of them are serving in the mode of service. They are serving the Supreme Lord in various capacities. And the whole creation is works in such a way that it is completely under the control of the Supreme Lord, and when he wants to destroy, everything is annihilated. So that is how the whole creation is working. But behind that whole creation there is the Lord. The Lord has a purpose, and he has a master plan of how to purify the living entities, give them opportunity. Every living entity has different kind of desires. He gives opportunity for them to purify their existence and also perfect themselves and come back to him. So for all of that, he creates opportunity. So now, so here the Supreme Lord is Kapiladev is mentioned so far about the time factor, the glories of the Supreme Lord, how he controls everything, how he is the Kala Chakra. Now from the verse number 39, he is describing how the whole creation is working just because of Bhaya, like his existence, his existence, the fear of him. So that is explained in from 39 to 45. So in the verse number 39, the another important point that the Lord is not actually a friend to anyone or enemy to anyone. Nachasya kashchit dayito, na dveshya, nacha bandavaha. So he is neither a friend nor a enemy. But what he does is the Lord, anyone who wants to approach him, he gives him remembrance. Anyone who wants to forget him, he actually makes him forget the Lord, and he destroys him also. In the sense, the consciousness goes down and down. And both are favor. In one sense, both are favor because it is the desire of the living entity. So, Pramattam Janam Antakrit. So, Antakrit is the word here that he destroys. He ends the consciousness goes down, down, and the living entity becomes like insects, trees and plants, and so many inanimate beings. All this is happening by him. And he's Prabhupada is quoting Harim Vina Na Mritim Taranti. So no one can save from repetition of birth and death without the help of the Lord. So the only person whom we can approach to cross over this nescience or the birth and death, the Bhavasagara, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Now in these verses, the 40 to 45, this Prakriti, how the Prakriti is working just by the Bhayat, like the fear of the Lord is mentioned here. So this is another phase of the Lord, that in the Kala Chakra, he crushes everything. So everything is working out of fear of the Supreme Lord. So here, Vayu and then Surya and rain, the this Vayu, Surya, and then Varshate, rain, and the heavenly beings, Bhaganaha. So all of them are working just out of fear of the Lord. So the wind is blowing, and the rain is pouring the water, and the sun, Surya, is shining, and the heavenly bodies are working very hard just because Yad Bhayat, out of the fear of the Supreme Lord. And in the next verse, we can see that there are seasons changing. So right now, winter, again, there will be spring, summer, fall. All of the seasons are changing. The flowers and fruits are blossoming. Everything is happening again out of the fear of Yad Bhayats, out of the fear of the Supreme Lord. Oh, so again here, the rivers. Stravanti Saritho Bitaha. So Stravanti is like the flow of the rivers. Saritaha is the rivers. The rivers are flowing out of the fear of the Supreme Lord, and the oceans towards the ocean. And the ocean, it is another important point here mentioned that there's so much water gets accumulated in the ocean, but the ocean doesn't expand himself. Otherwise, will everybody will be submerged. The ocean is also out of fear. It is under the same. It is in the same boundaries. And again, the fire burns, and earth and the mountains do not sink. They are floating by the fear of the Supreme Lord. So again, several aspects of the material energy, the Prakriti is mentioned, how the sky is basically accommodating various planets or floating in the sky. And there are 7 coverings in the Supreme Lord, like the 7 coverings of Bhumi, Apo, Nalo, Vayu, Kam, Mano, Buddhi. All the 7 elements are covering this, and that also is expanding under the Supreme Lord's control. So again, here it is mentioned that the demigods who are in charge of this material nature, all of these 3 aspects, the creation, maintenance, and destruction, everything, animate and inanimate, chara charam. So moving and non-moving, everything is completely under the control of the Supreme Lord. So again, in the final verse, verse number 45, the eternal time, again, the qualities of the eternal time is mentioned. So this eternal time, Kala Chakra, is Anadi, meaning it doesn't have a beginning and end. So it is the Lord's energy, the Lord is basically moving this entire Kala Chakra. And it is mentioned here that how the Lord is destructing this whole creation is by using one living entity and destroying another living entity. And he is mentioned here that Mrutyuna Antakam. So even the Lord of the Death, Yamaraj, everybody is annihilated at the end by the influence of the eternal time. So how to come out of this Kala Chakra is here finally mentioned here in the purport by Srila Prabhupada. So one who actually takes shelter of the Lord, a devotee who does not desire anything other than the shelter of the Lord and takes complete, in pure Krishna consciousness, performs the bhakti process. Such a person doesn't have to undergo this destruction. Because he transforms to the eternal atmosphere and then serves the Lord eternally. And there the Lord exists eternally in many of the millions of planets, including the Vaikuntha planets. So that is the conclusion here. Finally, the Prabhupada is making. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much for wonderful class, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.